Hi, chat. I'm gonna put this on while we wait for the first ads to go. Yeah, you guys can hear Faye. Also, I'm still eating. The whole planning is a bit weird. Hey, Chia, come on. Oh, no, she doesn't want to play with it anymore. She has it's a little bowl. It's like, Faye loves any kinds of bowls. So this one has small spikes all around it. But then they put a fabric in the shape of a monster around it. And I fully expected her to just get rid of all the fabric so she could get to the bowl, but I don't know. No, I don't know what to say about this. Still some IRL stuff that I need to handle off, I guess. Yeah, so the people from the fence were here again. However, they came super late and I had to be at the hospital today. I had appointments there. So when they came, I was gone already. Because I never get a time of when they'll be here. I'm gonna be honest, considering it's Wednesday, I didn't even expect them to be here. Because last week, Wednesday, they weren't here either. This is why communication would be great. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I don't know. So apparently, he needed something from me, and I wasn't here to give it. Which, honestly, sounds completely like a them issue. But whatever. Okay, what else do I need to do? I need to do this one. We are still waiting for the ads. Have the ads started by now, or... Great, I don't see the progress bar anymore. Man, why not? Okay, that's one. Let's do... that's 3. But there's also all kinds of like extra costs. I'm so confused by everything that's going on, not gonna lie. Okay, wait, what was this? Okay. Are we almost done with the ads? We're almost done with the ads. Okay. Yeah, so idea for today is that we go back to... Oh, that's nice. Learning plugin stuff. Let me check real quick. I have this one open still. That's great. All right. Nice. And then we can open this one too, and then I should be good to go, except for my food. I still have my food. Wait, let me munch real quick, chat. This is such a chaotic thing. Anyway, okay. I need my scenes, my gaming scene, and then that one's still up. That one's no longer up. Oh. Now we should be good again. Yeah. And then I still need to open Minecraft. Right. We were working in 1.21.8. Let me close this and open that one. Hello! You're at work? Isn't that like really early for you? But hi! Yeah. You're catching us at a really odd stream too. It's terrible. Oh no. You need coffee? Can you get coffee or? I don't know what kind of work you're doing right now. We really... When are we catching up? Because, oh my god, how long ago is it that we properly talked? Oh. Yeah, fair. Alright, we have that one as well. There we go. And then I should be able to tell... That is not Minecraft. I would like... Hello? I cannot get Minecraft. Great. Can I now get Minecraft? Yes, now I can. Does that make sense? Of course it does. Anyway. I'm operating on my new account so we can start the plan collabs. Yeah! Yeah, we really should. What are we up to today? Well, I am learning how to do plugins and well, no, yeah, how to make plugins is more like it. So today is number 3, I think. So we're gonna watch a tutorial again and see if we can use that somehow for something fun. Yeah, we've been nerding out over here. Let's see. Here we go again. We have our
Tatey Abbey just traded with 1 viewers.
Hey! You've been on my streaming streak, haven't you? Welcome. Hello. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, we have our IntelliJ for the coding. We have our videos. We'll figure things out. Hello. Did you play Tetrio again? Hey. I am kinda, so part of me is expecting someone to join. Part of me also doesn't think they're gonna join today, but I don't know. So I'm kind of stalling a little bit. You trying to stream every day? Epic. Don't overdo it, right? Because I mean, you're just setting out. Don't make it too much. Don't. Yeah. Keep an eye on your own mental health. Well, do keep an eye on your own mental health. There was the end of the sentence. It was a new sentence over there. Whoops. Oh my gosh, we're getting like the whole old gang back together. Hi, Graf. Hello. What's going on in here? We are nerding out. Also, Dogo has a toy. In case you guys are wondering, it's not me. Yeah, no, not me. Yeah, we're nerding out. We are learning how to make plugins. So far, it's been a lot of fun. We already did the commands, I believe. Yeah, we did that. We did the zombie. So we're going into permissions, although I don't think there's a whole lot of stuff we need to try out for that. But it's interesting to learn about, and then hopefully into settings. I hope to be able to do both of these today, but we'll see. It's exciting? Yeah. Well, you know what's very exciting? Let me see. Can I start it? Because we were... Oh, then I should show... Man, where's my gaming scene again? I lost it again. This one needs to go up top, because otherwise we can't see anything. I'm just layering everything. I also don't know where to go with all of the scenes we've got, because we have many. Maybe I should put this one on that side, and then I can put this one on that side. I feel like that makes more sense. Yeah, something like this. I feel like this feels more natural, but whatever. Minecraft, yeah. Are we running? I don't think we're running yet. Yeah, we're not running yet. Okay, let me take another bite. Hydrate will do. There we go. Also, yeah, for people who just came in, I am still munching on my lunch because I've been running all over the place. So I'm sorry if you guys can hear that. Poster check, thank you. There we go. By the way, my new chair, I am sitting sideways in it. I really should, you know, poster check and sit up straight again. You just woke up? Nice. Yeah, very nice. Are you planning on doing something today? You gotta bring dogs to get groomed. Nice. Teach you MCCI. I will. Yeah, sure. I don't have a whole lot of stuff that I can, you know. I can teach you the theory. Is the beeping doable, chat? Right now we have this one, right? And then it doesn't want to turn into a wolf. Okay, that's interesting. Did we change something? On unable. That's the example project. Oh, are we doing the zombie thing now? Maybe we're doing the zombie thing now. That could be it. It's not exploding. I don't think it works. Huh. Hi, yes. Okay. Okay, I don't know what happened. We have our example project, which has a command. Oh, is it because we need to do it with a command? Okay, we do have a boom zombie, so at least there's that. Okay, and then we have an entity listener that's currently not working. Ah, you didn't explain. Well, we have the cow command here. Huh. And then a zombie command over here, which is still called cow command, because why not? Let's restart. Screen is very bright. I don't want to hear. Alright, right. I forgot. Well, the server is restarting. Oh. Oh, what is that supposed to be? Public void on enable. Huh? A moment ago you still wanted to run. Okay. While the server is restarting, chat, here's your 5 minutes of you're allowed to hate on light mode. After these 5 minutes, I don't want to hear it. But yeah, I use light mode because I can't read in dark mode. You kind of need to be able to read when you code. So, not gonna lie, there were a lot of dark mode themes that looked really pretty. But, yep. Get your hate out of your system. You have 5 minutes. And after that, I don't want to hear it. You're going to have to make an I hate light mode redeem so people have to pay for it. Honestly, Puck, that is such a good idea. Yes, I like it. Although I do agree that chat's not very readable. With white on light mode, but yeah. You want that? Can we have that? Okay, give me a sec. The power-ups and channel points. There we go. Channel points. We want add a custom reward. How many channel points should that be? The consequence is that you have to use dark mode. No, I'm not. I'm not using dark mode. Once again, I would like to be able to read. Oh, and we're gonna pick a really... Yep, just white. It's just gonna be white. I like this. Blue is an avid light mode user. This redeem is the only permitted way to hate on light mode. We smile. Yeah. I like that. How much are we gonna make that? You can read both light mode and dark mode, but I use dark mode because my eyes are sensitive to light. I feel like that is a lot of stuff of like what your eyes are used to. Because for me, my screen is just always on a relatively dark brightness, usually. So I think that sort of adjusts. But yeah, no, I for the life of me, like the letters just won't stop dancing if it's dark mode. Fucking use Kabi. I've been telling my friends the first person to call me by our IRL name. Okay, in my defense, right? I didn't know I wasn't allowed. Okay? So I'm very sorry for last time, but I didn't know I wasn't allowed. I needed those specific instructions. Is it doable, by the way, chat, with all the beeping in the background? With all the screeching? The thing still is intact, by the way. She still hasn't broken it, huh? Yeah, I knew it was you. I almost said it. I knew it was you because I've been keeping tabs on the Discord for a bit. Like, I've seen announcements. Fun friend noises. Yeah, she's having so much fun. I prefer this over barking, so I'm happy. Right. We need an amount. How much do you get per hour? It's 220 usually, something like that, right? So yeah, I feel like that. And then there's a cooldown of 1 use per user per stream. Yeah. And you can skip the rewards queue because it's just, yep. Okay, there we go. Should be there. Yeah, headaches, the lights are no bueno. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, that's me. You were open to the— oh no. Can you take something of like painkillers? Surely you're back on, right? Oh, no longer a zombie egg. Wait, yeah, why do we remember my inventory but not the zombie egg? Oh, right, because I'm not supposed to spawn zombies like that. No, wait. Yeah, there we go. Ah, it explodes. And then this one does not explode. Great. Okay, and if I do this and I hold this... okay, we didn't change that. Noted. Okay. I will just... yeah, you can eat... burn. Go ahead and burn. I don't think I've seen your... the plan was exploding zombies. Yeah. Yep. Yes, it was. It used to be exploding cows, but then chat thought that it was animal abuse, and I agree, but that was what the tutorial said. So we did exploding cows to start with, but we changed it to exploding zombies, so... See? I think she's alright. I think the ball fell down the stairs. Alles oké? Wat gaat happen? I think the ball needs some rescuing. Wait, give me a sec. Oh, let me put you guys on some music while we wait. Because otherwise it's getting really, really awkward. Ja, wat is het? Wat is dat? Hoe is het nou? Hoe kan ik? En ik kom nog aan de trap. En pak me af. Goed zo. Goed zo, meisjes. Het is ook extra. She was just being lazy. She didn't want to grab it herself. Wat heb je gedaan? Was mich laten zien. Oh. Oh, there's a hole in it. Oh, there's 2 holes in it. Goed zo, meisje.
It's yuck. It's wet.
Okay, music turn off again. Hi.
Ugh, it's wet.
Anyway. Okay, so let's see what we are learning today. We are learning permissions. We're learning... Here we go. And then I can turn off Minecraft for a bit. Yeah, perfect. You guys cannot hear Firefox. Now you guys can hear Firefox. Let's go.
Actually registering permissions. So
Right. So I already looked ahead a bit. Because the first part of this is all about Luck Perms, which is a separate plugin. And I figured, you know, if we ever start using Luck Perms, we will look at that. But for now, just give us some of the theory, please.
first of all, you have the lovely file called plugin.yaml. And this file has been here since the episode 2.
Imagine being able to build
Free ads. Man, I'm not even getting paid for that.
Follow this tutorial and you want to know the very start, please go to episode 1, 2 and work yourself through it, because I'm building onto the same code base in every video in this tutorial is just building onto the previous one. So likewise, we have a command section. We're going to put in a permission section, and this is a link to PaperMC, which I have on my screen right here, plugin YAML tutorial. This is the same link as I mentioned in the previous video, by the way. If you go into my website, if you click on the blog post, you're going to have all these links available to you. So you can likewise specify not only commands, but also permissions that your plugin uses. This is useful for...
I don't know why I'm muted in Discord. Anyway, good luck, Curry. Curry. You need to teach me how to say your name, I think. Anyway, good luck, and have a good lurk.
plugins that use permissions to restrict access to certain features. So let me just copy this, and we can start changing. By the way, please note that they have a mistake right here. The space right here should not be. All right, here's a permission node. So this could be anything, cow.command.cow. This is the description of the permission. You don't have to have that if you don't want to. And then the default right here is basically the 3 modes that I've spoken to. So by default, this is open. If you are an operator, you have that permission. You can also change this to true. That means everybody has that permission. Okay, and then in Luck Perms, if you want to take away that permission from a specific group, you go and you set the permission to false for that specific group, right? Which is interesting. It reverses the logic, which is really handy. Or you can set the default value to false. That means even if I give myself the operator status, I'm not going to have that permission unless I go into Luck Perms and I set my permission to true explicitly. Okay, the children here basically contain another permissions list. Oops, cow canoon, command cow baby, for example. And then the true basically means that each permission node has children, and when you set the true, this permission node will then inherit the parent permission. It's a bit confusing. I personally never used this system. That's why I struggle to explain that. Sorry about this, guys. But honestly, if you use Luck Perms, you don't have to worry about that children thing at all. I personally never use that because in Luck Perms, you can simply inherit permissions from different groups. So if you...
Well, yeah, but I can also imagine a command where people are only allowed to use a certain child command and not the main command. Or vice versa. Like, I think that makes sense to me, that's an option. Anyway.
You have like an admin group, it can actually inherit all the permissions from the default group, right? And again, the tutorial, I just going to say I'm not going to cover this because you have the official docs on how to do that on that website. Good. So that's that. That's how to add these permissions in our code. Let me just do that instead right here. We can just leave each other, leave us with that one, and the value can be false, just so to demonstrate for you guys what it does. And then you can also use bucket that player has permission inside your code. So if we specify another permission, say cowcanoon cow.use, then we're going to go into the entity listener, and don't worry guys, I've added this code right here, okay, behind the scenes. So I'm going to explain what it
Oh, you're going to explain. Okay.
does. Don't worry about this, guys. So in the last video, you practically only should have this one. And then here, we can also check for if the player has permission. If the player does not have the permission node, then we're going to just return, and then we can simply send the message to the player, you don't have a permission to milk cows. And then we can do some, you know, some nice emoji, or this is not even an emoji, whatever that is. So we can do that. If I reload the server, obviously should work as expected. I don't bother to give you a demo because you can just compile it.
Okay. Okay, cool. I think that makes sense, but this is still if we make use of luck perm. What if I just want the distinction between opt people and not opt people? Hope we're gonna cover that.
But what I want to do before we finish this video is actually talk about what people have always requested. It is how to give and how to add permissions without using a permissions plugin in the game. This is really handy, especially if your plugin gives permissions on certain worlds, certain commands, or certain mini games, right? So I've seen that being used a lot. And the way it works is you can create something called, you can do something called player.add attachment. So let me just do a quick demo. Player.add attachment. And we're going to be going with this one. So this will basically add a new permission. The permission attachment basically means permission with a single permission by name and value. It takes in a plugin. In the last video, I explained how to get the plugin instance, so we can just place it right there. Then we can place the name of the permission, and this is literally the same as you have right here. And then the value of it can be either true or false. This is the same as for luck perms. And also, if you are adventurous, they also support the ticks. So the amount of ticks to automatically remove the attachment after. So say that I want to remove the attachment after 1 second, I'm just going to put 20 ticks. If I want to delete it after a minute, then I'll just multiply it by 60. And if I want to delete it after an hour, I'll just multiply it by 60 again. Obviously, you guys know that, 20 ticks equals 1 second, and then there's 3,600 seconds in 1 hour, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so you can do cool stuff like that. Now, please note that this one returns permission attachment, this method. So you can literally just save it somewhere in a hash map, and I've created a hash map storing unique ID. Guys, if you're doing this, please don't store the player object. It's just going to eat your memory. You don't have to do that, but I do recommend you store the unique ID of the object, of the player, and then whatever has returned, right? And then you simply call it permissions list or whatever, and you can create a new hash map. If you are a beginner in Java, basically this is a dictionary storing keys, being player IDs with their new permissions, okay? And then you can check if the player has already been given that permission. Then you can delete or remove the attachment. And this one is a bit tricky because it doesn't take the string. We can't put this one. It doesn't go. I wish, but it doesn't go, unfortunately, because Bucket wanted to protect, I guess, the scope of different plugins, because each permission attachment is tied up to a single plugin. So you almost have to, you don't have, Bucket does not want to give you a right to delete permissions from other plugins.
I'm gonna be honest, I already lost it. This is not my way of learning. I need to be able to look through the code. Can we go back up a little bit? Just a tiny bit, please. So this is just your on entity right click. And on my entity right click, I I iterate through player that get effective permission as for each. For player that get effective. Okay, so for each permission that the player has, we get the attachment. And it's printed permission. Which permission from? If attachment is null, it gets default, and otherwise it gets name. Okay. If permission contains key, get unique ID. Okay, so if the permission has a key for that user, I guess if the user has a permission, that's probably the way to interpret that. Then we can remove it. Why would we remove? You no longer have perms. So I read it and I no longer have perms. And if I don't have it, we're gonna add perms.
Memory. You don't have to do that. Hash map. If you are
Sorry, I should have. Let's get back to where we are. Yeah, because then over here it is permission. You now have the perms. Okay.
has already been given that permission, then you can delete or remove the attachment. And this one is a bit tricky because it doesn't take the string. We can't put this one. It doesn't go. I wish. But it doesn't go, unfortunately, because Bukkit wanted to protect, I guess, the scope of different plugins, because each permission attachment is tied up to a single plugin. So you almost have to, you don't have, Bukkit does not want to give you a right to delete permissions from other plugins, right? So that's why they are protecting themselves. That's just my assumption, conspiracy theory, right? So that's why we're essentially just putting the attachment right here. And if you guys can see it, let me just rewrite this into more readability. There we go. Now you can see it. So we're creating the attachment, and then we're storing that as a variable, and then we're putting it by the player unique ID, and we're putting the attachment inside the dictionary. And then if the player already has that, we're just going to delete it. And this one is also, yeah, so you have to basically understand it in Java. If you call the delete method, it's called remove. This will remove the mapping from the dictionary if it's present, which we know that it is because we check it for right here, and it also returns it back to you, removes and returns back. So we can actually use it right here. And again, if that's not clear, we can just, yeah, we can just edit the code.
Yeah, no, of course,
friendly, because I know some people are going to be a bit confused. So yeah,
that makes sense.
This is even better. Good. Essentially, this is just going to give you a nice switch, and I can do something like, I don't know, funky demo test. So you know, you'll notice the switch, and up here we can get the effective permissions for the player itself, and this actually returns something called attachment info, which is strange, but Bukkit is, you know, sometimes funky too. So apparently that one has the attachment within itself, and then one has the permission itself, which is supposed to be that one, or, you know, funky.demo.test. And then from, I'm also interested in knowing which plugin has that permission. And yeah, and we can actually get the plugin instance by calling get plugin. So here you can actually delete attachments from, you know, another plugins, and so the conspiracy theory has been diminished. Good. So you'll just see, this is just a debug. You'll see what happens in the console when we're clicking, you know, any entity basically, because here this will only work for cows, but this will work for any entity. This is a very nice debug. Let me compile and let me show you what this will do. Okay guys, so I'm playing with this and my cow actually disappeared. Oh, right there. So if I keep right clicking the cow, it's just going to toggle between giving me the
Okay, it is supposed to
artificial
toggle.
permission right here, the funky demo test. And as you can see here, it will simply start printing these permissions that are already in the plugin. So cow canoon command cow from default. And I guess the default right here means that we haven't really given the permission from the code, right? So we haven't given the permission from the code, but it's been returned from, I guess, this file right here. Same goes for the other one.
What is this file? Your what? Lockperms. It's a lockperm specific file. Okay, never mind then.
Test.demo, and then group.default comes from lockperms, and then funky.demo.test also comes from default. Okay guys, I don't know why Bukkit does this, but
Okay, but we're still talking about lockperms. We were supposed to stop talking about lockperms, right? Right?
apparently we're not able to get the plugin even though we just placed it right here.
I think all of this might be lockperm based then. I guess. Might be worth looking into this via a different method than this one. Alright, let's go to settings then.
And if I reload the file now.
No. Well, let's start at the beginning, shall we?
Well, hello everybody and welcome to this video in Minecraft plugin coding tutorial series. And in today's lesson, I'm going to be actually creating settings configuration so that when you are spawning these animals, where is that? Cow, right? You can change that because in the last video, every single animal we spawned was a cow. And I'm going to show you how you can create a setting where you can actually create an entity type key that you can then set inside the game into pretty much anything in bats. And if I reload the file, now it save it into a bat. So very cool. A lot of stuff we're going to be covering today, and enjoy. So first things first, let me explain what these settings are really quickly.
Why? No. Stupid ads. Stupid ads. Anyway, hi chat. How you doing? What's going on? So many people. What's this? Okay, and the rest I'll get back to later. Yes. When I can put my full attention to it. Okay, there we go, chat. We're back.
If you open up plugins folder, you're going to see a bunch of plugin folders for each individual plugin, inside which, let me just open up the lockperms, for example, there's a bunch of files. We are going to be dealing with the file ending with .yml extension, and if you can't see that extension, you have to Google how to show hidden file
We're
extensions.
not going to work with
Please also
lockperms
make sure
still,
to
right?
have watched, I think, the first video or the second video in this series to have the right program installed. For Windows, I did recommend something called Notepad++ to open up these files. Now, if I open up this file, actually I have to make it a little bit bigger, otherwise it's distorted. The way it works is that these are the keys in blue, and in the green, these are the comments. The comments are ignored, and the keys are loaded and or saved back to the file from your plugin. The key can have any value, right? This one is a string, this one is a boolean, there can also be numbers. Now,
we have already dealt with YAML files though, because that's in these. Like the plugin.yaml file works the exact same way. Oh, you guys can't see that because I put the thing anyway. Anyway, we already the thing where we defined which commands that we want to be able to use for this plugin. That's also YAML, so I don't know why we're getting this explanation now. I kind of want to skip through, but I'm scared of missing something important, so let's not have patience.
configuration settings can have sections which can contain subsections with subsections, etc., etc. Data right here is a section. It contains this section right here, this whole thing. And you'll notice that we use 2 space character to push the files, the keys inside the section to the right. Please do not use tabs, only use spaces. Now, there's another section called pool settings, and it has these keys, in which there is another section called properties. So you can see it can stack up infinitely. Now, to create this, what we can do, I can just go inside the resources folder and I can right click it and go to new file, and I can just give it a nice name called settings.yml.
Resources.
And I can just already paste what I had in the plugin there. So basically the demo key says true. We can actually be deleting this key. We don't need this. And then what we have is a section called explosion, inside of which there's 2 spaces right here. There's a comment, the entity type to explode, and then there's entity type, right? Please guys, make sure do not use any weird characters here, otherwise it may not work. What I do recommend.
Okay, let's get started with this so we can like actually get on programming for a bit. Also, please define weird characters. Like, what are we supposed to do with that? Anyway, file. I wanna wait. What? Is there specific? No. It doesn't matter. So. Let me turn this off for you guys so you guys can see. Oh, there is a new window that opened up that I guess you guys can't see right now. That asks for a name. Does the name need to be... Nope, no capitals there. So, settings.yml. That's not a dot. Can I just delete it? Yes, I can. Great. New file settings.yml. There you go. And then what do we include in the... Oh. There we go. We include... this is... What's only one? It's not getting color for me, but that's okay. I like the grayed out anyway. Demo key, and then we call it demo key with capitals. Yep, we say that one's true, and then we say 2 spaces, and then this is the entity that will be exploded. Oh, nope. This is exploding entity settings. That's not how you spell entity. I should probably just grab my keyboard to be closer because that helps with typing. Settings. And then that was... Okay. Explosion. Oh, you automatically do that. That's 2 spaces. Great. The entity will be exploded. And that is entity type. Also capitalized? Yes. For some reason, this is capitalized as well. There we go.
The Lost Honoroy just raided with 10 viewers.
Oni! Welcome in, Raiders! Welcome in! I should put on some sort of music, because I'm getting so focused and it's really awkward. Plus, I'm always scared that you guys can hear me breathe. I don't like that. What do we have in terms of ambient? We have ambient noise. Let's go to the aquarium. Yeah, sure. Can we hear that? Okay, I hope you guys can hear something there. Cool. Anyway, you're a suspicious user. You're not a suspicious user. Not anymore. Or now you're just a raider at least. No, you're just a raider right now. Anyway, welcome raiders. We are learning how to plug in. Now, yeah, no, okay, now you're a suspicious user. Never mind. Wait, that is odd. Why does it not say that the first time? Yep, are you still banned? SMH, AC. What did you do this time? Yeah, we're learning how to plug in, and today's lesson is about settings that you can run in. Okay, wait, it's a little bit too loud for me still. There we go, and I'll turn it up slightly for you guys, so you'll have a background noise. Okay. Something like that. Anyway, yeah, so that in chat you can do like you can run a setting and then it'll change stuff for your code. That's what we are learning about right now. I don't know, we were exploding zombies. I guess we're now exploding bats, but we're going to hear more about that from this person. I would like the standard one. Noted. Yes.
We can do. I can just go inside the resources folder and I can right click.
Oh yeah, we just did that.
So basically the demo key says true. We can actually be deleting this key. We don't need this. And then what we have is a section called explosion, inside of which...
Can we explode Oni? I think in theory I can make a plugin that checks for the UUID of Oni, and then, you know, upon right click, if player's ID is Oni's ID, we explode. I think that should work. I do think that Oni would like that though, being able to explode. So I don't know if that's, you know, if you mean is in a bullying way, I don't think it's getting across what you want to get across. I don't think. I completely forgot to ask, by the way, because I'm out of it today, chat. I'm sorry. How was stream? I completely missed everything. I didn't even see what you guys were streaming. I'm sorry. But yeah, I've been running around today. Like, big. Anyway, what did you stream? Was it another? I'm guessing it was either bingo or speedrunning, and I think it was speedrunning. That's gonna be my guess. I'm gonna look it in. A bit of everything today. Ooh, spicing it up, I see. Alright. Well, I hope it was fun. Bingo, parkour, or speedrunning. I had not guessed MCCI. No, alright. Is Oni still Emerald? Surely, right? Right. Hopefully. I tried speedrunning. Well, not quite speedrunning. One of my bingo things for this year, because I'm running a big bingo card for like things I want to do or achieve this year. And one of the things on that is beat the end in under 2 hours. So I tried yesterday, but I don't do 1.16, right? Because why would you make it easy? No, but like that feels too competitive. Like I just want to do it for fun. Yeah, we didn't get far. Like not even a little bit. I mean, at one point, like I went into Bastions, and at one point we were even at a stronghold. So that was fun. Just, yeah, not very speedrunny. Anyway.
There's 2 spaces right here. There's a comment, the entity type, 2. explode, and then there's entity type, right? Please, guys, make sure do not use any weird characters here, otherwise it may not work. What I do recommend, people go for a couple of styles. Some people go for this style. Some people go for this style. I personally just use this style. You can pick whichever style you wish. I think most plugins just go with this style. Lowercase, and then the different words are separated by underscores. This is just my personal style. Okay, great. So we have explosion, and then we have entity type. Now, this is the file. We have to now go and create a new Java class. I'm just going to call it cow settings. That will handle loading and saving to this file. And for that reason, I already pre-created a bunch of things inside my second screen, which I'm going to be showing you how to do. So the best way to go...
I love how we are still calling it cow, even though we have strayed away from the cow. I'm gonna make this smaller, I think. Specifically for you guys. No, I should make it a bit bigger. Yeah, because I can make it smaller in here. We don't need to see the side. We can do it like this. Perfect. Great. Because now I can type along. Ish. Because we want to make... Yeah, now I don't have to constantly switch screens is what I mean. We want to make cowsettings.java. We are going to do that. Cowsettings.java. Hey, can you... Yes, thank you. And then... How it all works. And then we want... Okay.
Go about this is actually making this class a singleton. This will ensure safest access so that the settings are loaded only once and saved only once with the same instance, and will prevent issues. So what I do recommend, you just go and you just create a singleton like this, cow settings instance. There we go. And then get instance will be the getter to get the settings class instance. And then we can basically just create a private constructor to hide it so that you cannot create a new settings multiple times.
Weet je? Wat is? Niet blaffen. Kan van hier komen. Niet blaffen. I don't know. Anyway, Bork, yes, big Bork. Right, yeah, we were doing that, so that's... Does that change anything for you guys? I don't think it does, right? Yes, it does. Okay, well, I'll put it back in a minute. Public, private, final, status... Static. I can't read it, it's too small. Static, cow settings, instance, cow settings. Instance is new. Cow. Settings, yep. Then we want a private cow settings. Oh, wait.
Wait, I can type.
Private. Great. Now we have a public. I put my keyboard back where it usually is. Public. Static. Get. Oh, just cow setting. Get instance? Why get instance? Return. This lowercase thing, instance. Wait, what do you say? Is new cow settings. I guess that works. Yeah, sure. What? Okay.
This is the only time you can create a new settings, right?
No, stop it.
Great.
Stop
What
it.
this
Hello, can we just drag it to... Thank you. Drag it to the other screen. There we go.
class also needs to have is a file in Java, which simply stands for the file on the disk. In our case, this is going to be the Cowcanoon settings file with an E at the end. And also something called YAML configuration from Bukkit, which stands for config, and this is a model in Bukkit that helps us put things inside the file or load them from the file. Great.
Okay, I think all of that makes sense. Yeah, the get thing is a typical object-oriented thing. Usually you get it with a set though, but I don't know. I guess it depends on, like, I'm very curious to see how we are gonna call and change things in this when it's everything is private except for the get. But okay, so we have a private file. Can we? Yes, thank you. We have a private. Oh no, here. Private file, and we have a private what was it? Oh, it's capitalized. YAML configuration. And we're gonna call that one config. Yeah, that works for me.
And then also, what I do recommend, you basically can just model and create a copy of all these values right here. So what I can do, I can just create the entity type, or exploding type right here. And we're going to be loading and saving this in just a second. So you can basically just create all of these, just a duplicate of.
Okay, wait. Also, why is this one complaining about stuff? What are we complaining about? Oh, because there's a 4 here. Hahaha. Explosion and entity type. Which one do you want? Just the entity type. Then is entity type something from me, or is that something from Minecraft? And this is also private. Okay. Oh yeah, because the public one is in the settings file, of course. Entity type. Yeah. Okay. And that is entity type. I don't like this. I use camel case. Exploding type. Fine. Exploding type, which is camel case. So we like that. Alrighty.
All of these. I'll also show you a way without it, but this is the safest one, and I prefer to have it this way. Good. So now let's implement the loading method. What we need to do for the file, we need to load a new file, right? And you can see that I use AI completion. In this case, it is correct. So it created a new file, and then getting into the plugin's main class's instance, we can call something called the data folder, which is simply this folder right here. This one, Cowcanoon. Inside of the folder, we're going to be working with the file called settings.yaml. And
Nope. I was zoning out.
out of the folder, called class's instance, we can call something called the data folder, which is simply this folder right here. This one, Cowcanoon. Inside of the folder, we're going to be working with the file called settings.yaml. And
Why? How? Because my Cowcanon is in a different folder as my settings YAML is gonna be. Wait. Say that again.
this folder as instance, we can call something called the data folder, which is simply
So you are not. Wait, but where did you put this? Did I put my settings in the wrong area? Wait, where do we make our settings folder? Wait. It is still there. Yeah, it is still there. Okay.
The folder, we're going to be working with the file called settings.yaml. And if the file does not exist, what we can do, we can simply call the get instance again, and we can save the resource, and we don't have to replace it. So Bukkit already provides us with a bunch of utility methods. Now, to load the actual config, not just the file, but the actual things inside the file, we can create a new YAML configuration, and then we
Okay, but that doesn't catch everything, right? Like, if there isn't a file yet and you make it, then now my private file still isn't a file.
actually have to go into the
Right.
options and enable parsing of comments, because if you don't, what's going to happen if you say programmatically from Java you change this, it's going to look like this, which is not good. So we need to keep these comments that we want to have there. So make sure to set parse comments to true. There we go. And then what we can do, we can simply call config.load, and then whichever file you want to use. I'm simply going to use this file for the keys to be loaded. So again, the file field is from Java, and it represents the disk file. The config file, the config class, is from Bukkit. It represents the content of this, which is in the YAML language. Okay, so this parser needs an actual file to load these values from, and we need to also try and catch this surrounded with a catch block, because it can throw errors which you need to parse appropriately. For this case, for this demo, I just have to print it out. That's it. Good. Awesome.
Wait, because you are losing me slowly but steadily. Okay, so file is new file, get instance. Yeah, so file is the file that I have stored there. But if file does not exist, then I can save resource. Give this to me again, please.
This one, Kaukonen. Inside of the folder, we're going to be working with the file called settings.yaml. And if the file does not exist, what we can do, we can simply call the get instance again, and we can save the resource, and we don't have to replace it. So Bukkit already provides us with a bunch of utility methods. Now, to load...
You're not really telling me what it does, though, are ya? Wat ga ik niet geloven? Why are you rage baiting me? How dare? Big dare. Good job, I guess? Yeah, well, good job. Yay. No, that's cool. Like a wooden one. Or... yeah, wood. Gotcha. Yeah, well, so the people apparently were supposed to come back today, which they didn't tell me, so I didn't know. Also, I had a hospital appointment, so I couldn't be here. Well, I was here until 10. I had to leave my home at 10, and they weren't here by 10. I was okay. Fine, fine. I will not talk about the fence. I'm a little bit confused. Because we are grabbing the file that should exist. But if it doesn't exist, we do a save resource. I don't know what a save resource thing does. And all the guy says is, well, then we save the resource. I'm like, okay, but that doesn't tell me anything. But I think this is a matter of, I guess I just gotta believe him, because I don't know.
The actual config, not just the file, but the actual things inside the file, we can create a new YAML configuration. And then we actually have to go into the options and enable parsing of comments.
Yeah, okay. This makes sense because this is all part of the reading inside the file. If he says it, it must be right. Exactly. You know, he will know. We have the cow setting, which I'm gonna make a bit smaller because we're not doing anything with that right now. Public void load. Public void load. Okay, you're not giving me anything. That's interesting. And then we have a file is new file of. Well, we don't have cow cannon. We have example. Oh, do we not have example project? Yes, we do. Dot get instance. Don't get data folder. The data folder. Is the resources folder the data folder then? No, because he said it was just... I'm confused. Cal command, get instance, get data folder. Because I'd say that the data folder for the cal command... Uh-oh, I clicked something. Is this. This one. Whatever. And then you are called settings.yaml. At least I'm guessing it's yes, okay. Yep, great. Okay, so we load the file, and then if the file's not there, so if what file exists? File.exists, then example project dot get instance dot save resource, and then the resource path here is settings.yaml. What was the second thing that you need? False, because we're not replacing it because it's not there. So then we're gonna actually read the file, which is config. I can type. Is why is file private YAML configuration? Why is that one not turning purple for me? Private YAML configuration. Yeah. Do we need to? No, yeah, it has been imported. Okay, doesn't matter. Config equals new YAML configuration. That is all, and then we do options parse comments. And then we do config dot options dot parse comments, and that one is a true. Great. Now we're gonna try it. Config.load. No. Back. And then if that does not work, oh, we need it to be immediately after. So let's catch exception E, and then it's E dot print stack trace. What's that? You say so. All right.
Awesome. And then finally, what we can do, we can parse the entity type, we can get the value, and then we can open up the string, and we can get the key at the explosion path dot, because if you want to get subkeys, you have to open up the path using dot instead of colon, and then entity type. So explosion dot entity type. This is going to return whatever is here. So this is bad. We can have the default value as cow, right? However, we need to change this to an actual entity type class, so we can just use the value of right here.
Exploding type, yeah, I think. Okay. Okay. Exploding type is entity type. Hello, Nido. Dot value of, and it's value of. Was it config? Yeah. Config dot get string, and that's just the path, which is, yeah, the exact same. Explosion dot entity type. There we go, making a new mod pack. We are learning how to do plugins. Maybe an origin class? Nah. That's like, that is so 2.5 years ago. No, we're learning how to make plugins. And today is all about having a settings YAML that you then can access and that you can call on. So this part is the, you know, we have a settings YAML file and we are trying to read from it, which is kind of what we do here. And a lot of it is just exception catching, you know, problem catching. Essentially, over here we say, we point to the file that we're reading in, and then with these we load in the text from the file, and then over here we kind of use the text from the file. Those are the important lines, I'd say. See, that part I understand. I just don't fully understand like some of the details, like save resource. But bro, so we have just started. We don't need to understand everything yet, I guess. But yeah, with this we should be able to read the exploding type from this file, which we then can use for our cannon. How cannon, an interesting weapon. To be fair, it has since changed. Like right now, if I were to go into the server, we are exploding zombies. It's no longer a cow canoon. He keeps on calling it a canoon, so I call it a canoon. So annoying, I'm such a sponge. It's no longer a cow cannon, it's a zombie cannon for us. But alright. So we have that. What do we do now?
Great. That's it. We have now implemented the loading mechanism, and now we can just implement the saving mechanism.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And then I'm guessing, well, I mean, these are public, so it doesn't matter at all, does it? So then this is a public void save method. Great. Was it Unimate Blue? I was always a coding nerd. My apologies for that. If I ever gave off vibes that I wasn't. Hello. No, I started coding 12 years ago now, I think. Roughly, roundabout.
Boo.
How dare. How dare you scare me like that?
I'm sorry. Anyways, how is it going?
We are learning how to save settings and such. Save and load. So, right now we just did the loading part. And for the most of the explanation to make sense, there are some specifics where he says, yeah, so, you know, you use the save resource function, so you can save the resource. And I'm like, yeah, but what does it mean? What does it mean to save? What resource are we talking about? Welcome in, coding person. This is Velocity. Velocity is in VC right now. Hey, wait, you managed to connect just at once.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been
Okay.
happening for a while now. Actually, I'm quite lucky.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me set stuff up so you can watch along. I wasn't sure anyone was gonna join, so I didn't bother to set up the virtual camera.
Can you explain a little bit more what you mean, because I don't have the full context.
Yes, I can. As in what we're doing right now, or what do you want the context
yeah.
of? Okay. So we are making a settings file in which we can store certain settings. Like for this, we're still talking about the canon. So now it is which entity or which type of entity the canon is. So we started cows. We now have zombies. He's turning it into a bat. And we want to be able to change that while we're in the world. So you type a certain command and then you say, okay, now I want to be able to make bat cannons. So I can do that while in the world without having to change anything directly in the file. And what we did so far is, okay, so we grab the file, we grab the contents of the file, and we load what is important in the file. So for us now, that's the entity type.
Right.
Have a good luck, AC.
Makes sense.
And now we're diving into, or we're about to.
Nightel gifted 5 subscriptions to the community.
Sorry, Palacio music. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for the gifted. Zendo and Tay and Pug. Pug! I don't know if Pug's still here. Pug was here before.
Hype train started.
We vibe train. Oh, while we're at it, by the way, chat, for some reason, I keep on diving back under the 600 followers. I would really, really appreciate it if there's anyone in chat who hasn't followed yet to, like, consider it. Because I want to note it down as a milestone, but so long as we, you know, hit it and then dive back under it, I can't count it as a milestone. Thank you, Stream Elements. Well, I was more talking about the follow, not necessarily subscribing, even though, you know, we love that. Thank you, Nightel. Alright. Yeah, we were about to dive into how to save the settings. But there are some, for example, like over here, if the file does not exist, then we do a example project get instance, so we get the full plugin thing, and then we say save resource. But I don't know, like, what are we saving here then? Is this just an empty file? And if it is, then we no longer have it, like, we don't load it in again. Or,
From my understanding, what this does is it creates a settings.yml, which means it can also be edited from server, blah blah. It should just save the file, So the settings.yml file, that's what it says it's doing anyways.
Okay, but then over here I tried to get the file, and if then the file does not exist, then I'm gonna...
No, so you get the file, and then if the file exists, then it will save resource.
Yes, but if it doesn't exist, I make it, right? That's what this does.
I can't see that specific part. It's covered by chat.
Let's cover by chat.
Like the stream elements message, just a little bit.
Sorry, chat.
There we go. Config.load from. Let me. Sorry.
Then
Let me
again,
open it
I guess over here it doesn't matter a whole lot anyway, because if it does create it, it's gonna be an empty file. And then reading it in doesn't matter because there's nothing in it because it's an empty file.
Yeah. It doesn't necessarily make a file. It doesn't because it doesn't make a new file. It loads the file.
Well, but if the file does not exist, then what am I... Uh-oh. Are we good?
I'm pretty sure. Wait, let me just double. I'll try to write something into the. Should be if file. Wait. If file. I'm trying to figure out exactly what this does. Give me 2 seconds. Because I don't think this loads a file.
Well, I mean, this technically speaking loads a file, but I'm still stuck on the... Okay. Do we have a...
This is... I figured it out. This is for, This is mostly for the file being corrupted. It does work if the file's not existing. Basically what it does is it tries to load the config file, and if something goes wrong, it prints an error detail instead of crashing the program. That's what that does. So it doesn't make a new file, it just shows an error. If the file's not there, or if the file is corrupted or something.
Okay. That is what the save resource does. Oh, there we go. Saves the raw contents of any resource embedded within a plugin's jar file, assuming it can be found.
And then... Oh, so that's what the try config catch part does.
Try config.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what that part does. But I'm still stuck on the save resource. So over here it says saves the raw contents of any resource embedded within with a plugin's jar file. .jar file. The resource is saved into the plugin's data folder. Yeah, the resource is saved into the plugins. So this is where we.
Yeah. Amazing.
You cut out. Sorry. Do what?
Yeah, it just makes sure that there's like I said, it makes sure that your plugin has a settings.yml file, and then if it or the file, I guess. This is this part of this is actually what makes another file if it doesn't exist.
Well.
So basically, if it checks if the settings file doesn't exist, and if missing, it copies the setting file from your plugin resources into the data folder.
Okay.
And then the first part is what creates the file. Inside the plugin data folder. Sorry, I'm eating something.
Okay. Enjoy your food. Well, let's just move on.
go. And basically, yeah, it basically auto completes what I would want to put there as well. So that's it. And also, what we can do, we can have a set. So
Oh, wait, stop. You're not... What did we just do? Try config save file, catch exception. But... Oh, okay, no, that does make sense. Yeah, that does make sense. So we're gonna try... config.save file, and then... Oh, right. I keep on forgetting. Keep on forgetting that there's no... that you write the catch on top of that. Exception. E. And then we just print it, I'm guessing, right? Oh, yeah. It's the same as before. Print E dot one stack trace. So that's just a formality, I guess, to save it. All right, and then
set to the path.
Remember when earlier in the stream I said, okay, we have a get, but where is the set part of this object? Yeah, here we go.
Right here. And then set the value, right? And then you can also call config.set, and this will write things inside your disk file. But also, after you've set it, you also need to call save so that it actually saves, because if you don't call save, it will be only stored.
Yeah, locally. No, that makes sense. Okay, so then we have a public void set. And then we want config dot set. Oh, right. You get string path and object value. String path and object value. Cool, and then it's path value. Path value. Why is everything moving? And then we want to save it. Why is my save public then? Why is my save not private? Am I ever gonna call save from outside of this class without making a change?
What?
We now have the set, right? Our set method, in which we change the value, and then we also call save, which makes a whole lot of sense. But why is my save method then, or my save function then public? Because is there ever gonna be a moment where I call save from outside of this class without making a change, or, you know, closing it? Or am I ever just gonna call save and that's it? That is not in this class.
Possibly. I don't know. I think it's just easier to use public classes. I think because, like, for everything I write, I usually only use private, but like for save classes.
You
I
are
don't know,
cutting
public is
out like crazy, by the way. I don't know if it's because you're talking quiet, but
Alright, I'm quite sick. So I'm talking quietly.
oh.
Let me just. Oh, okay. Second. Right. Can you hear me like better now? I just like.
That was pretty much the first sentence I heard.
Okay. So it's basically that I mean, I'm sure you know what public is, but it doesn't. I don't think if you want to call the like thing, you would still have to keep it public. If you want to keep it private, then only the class can call it, so like no one else can do it, including you. So you have to use public here.
The explanation I can follow, because yes, I mean that's exactly how I know public and private to be, but I am only using save from within this class. I am trying to think of a moment where I would use save from outside of this class, where I wouldn't also be setting the value or something like that. Like I will always be changing something in the class to close it, right? Because otherwise, why am I saving it? If I'm not making changes, it doesn't matter.
It as well. The cow settings are already public, right? So, is,
Yeah, your
just gonna
sentences
read
are
it.
once again not coming through.
Right. Yeah. Good question.
Anyway, yeah, details. Next.
In a hash map inside
think it
of
matters.
the bucket until you reload, and if you reload, it will be gone. Okay, great. So we have that. And now simply get exploding type right here and set exploding type just like that. And then also remember to set it inside the file just like that. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, we
Okay. Even better. We now have a set exploding type and a get exploding type. Very specifically. Those need to be public. I get that. That makes a whole lot of sense. I feel like the rest doesn't need to be public. The set that we just did, we call that from here. We have the get exploding type. Wait, that's not a... What is a... Oh, I was about to say, yeah, it's not a void if we return something. Entity type. And then it is, return exploding type, yeah. Exploding type. That's all. And then we have our public set exploding type. Thank you. Just exploding type. Great, that's what we need. And then we also want to run this. No, we want to run the set on our path, which is explosion dot entity type. Is that all of the path we need? Okay, interesting. And then exploding, oh, it's exploding type dot name.
can get the name right here. It will work flawlessly. Awesome. I think that's it. Now we have implemented the settings.
Yep, because this one feels obsolete. As in, I can put config in here. I can do config.set with this path and this value, and then put a separate save, and I will get rid of all of this. Like, what is... and then it would save it for every time I change it, which I feel like is a good thing. I don't know. This feels convoluted.
What we have to do, we have to make sure to load it when the plugin is enabled. So cow settings, get instance load, there we go. And then inside the entity listener, we can...
Okay, wait, let's calm down. This is supposed to go into my end sample project. So this is cow settings dot get instance dot load. Yeah, great.
There we go. And then inside the entity listener, we can change this entity instance cow instead to get type equals to cow settings, get instance, get exploding type. Now,
entity, wait, what was that? Okay, entity get right click. So then entity instance of. Okay, no, entity dot get type is cow settings dot get instance dot get exploding type and has metadata. Okay, that's still good.
this can get a bit lengthy. So the other option that people also use is just have it static as a field, right? And then, yeah, you can just do the same. And then if you want to access it, you just go and you call it like this. It is shorter. However, the issue with this is that, you know, you can accidentally set the field without and forget that you will do nothing. It will actually not save, because if you have a static approach, then what you can do something like this, not knowing that it won't save into a file, right? So I do not recommend this for beginners, because beginners can create beginner mistakes and then be confused. So do not use that. Just be...
Okay, to be fair, this is also something that advanced people would do. You know, this is your typical, let me put this right here so we can test stuff out, and then completely forgets about all the test things you've got in it. Anyway.
A little bit verbose here, just use all these helpers and instances and singletons. They'll help you produce higher quality code, especially for beginners. Great. So we have that now. And I guess that's it in this class, in the entity listener. Guys, if you don't have this, please watch the previous videos where we created this.
We do.
And then inside the command right here, we can find the if args length is more than 1, right? Because what can happen here, I can call /cow, then set, and then let's say I want this to be a zombie, for example. So if the argument's length is more than 1 and arguments 0 is the set argument, then we basically want to parse the entity type from this using a try and catch block. There we go. So we can do that. Yeah, perfect. I guess the AI is very smart today. And then if there's an illegal argument exception, right, if I type in something like this, we obviously just want to send the message to the player saying, hey, invalid entity type, and then return true, because it actually, the command actually completed without issues. It was called legally. However, there was a problem within the command. If
Okay, so now we do command set instead of just cow set zombie instead of... Wait, what did we used to run? What was our command? It was in our plugin. Just /zombie. Okay.
I return false, Bukkit will simply display the usage message. In this case, yeah, we can also change this to baby or set. There we go. Entity type. Just like that. Perfect. And last but not least, so we have the entity type right here. we need to go to cow settings, get the instance, and then edit edit the exploding type, right? And then right here, instead of spawning cow, we can just have a living entity right here, player get world, spawn entity, and then instead of having cow, we're just gonna go into cow settings, get instance, get exploding.
I think that makes sense. Okay, let's start with that. So that is if it's a zombie. So now we have... Okay, I'll come back to that in a bit. So now it's a living entity. I understand the difference between living entity and entity. Why do we use living entity here? Is kind of what I'm wondering. Entity is player will get world, and now we don't want zombie. Spawn entity. Oh, now we do a spawn entity, by the way. We did a spawn before. Entity. We have location. And then we have now settings dot get instance get exploding type. Okay, and then this is entity. That one doesn't necessarily have set baby, so.
And I guess we need to cast it into a living entity because this one will only return entity, but we pretty much know that this is a living entity. Also, here's a great tip. So we have to make sure that the type is spawnable and the type is alive, right? And if it isn't, then we're going to return it. So, because as you notice, the entity type has things like area effect cloud, which you can't really spawn, right? So we have to make sure.
I think we just changed, yeah. Okay, now we're in a cherry grove again. Better. There we go. Okay.
That only actual animals can be placed there. Great. And I guess the baby argument, we have to also make sure that the entity is ageable right here, and then we can call it on ageable. Just like that. And
okay. Okay, ageable is a thing. And entity is an instance of ageable. And then we can say ageable entity. Which needs brackets. Okay, this is a type of... that is a notation I haven't seen before. That's pretty cool though. Also, what else we needed over here above that if? Where did we just change the check? Okay, yeah, here with the argument. Okay, well, let's get started on this then, shall we? If bigger than 1, then we open you up and we say entity type. Oh no, wait, there's another if statement first. If 0 is set, next 0 is dot equals ignore case set. Yeah. I will put brackets around you. You calm your horses. Then we say entity type. Oh, no. Try. Type equals entity and entity type dot value of. Yep, value of args 0. No, 1. Args 1. Why everything to uppercase though? That's behind. I can type. To uppercase. And then we do catch. Illegal argument. Illegal argument exception. Yeah, we can do that. Sender dot send message. Sender dot send message. Invalid entity type. Invalid entity type. Plus marks. No space 0. Okay, so for this one, if you have more than, or if length is more than 1, then we check if it is a set. If it is a set, we try to see if it's an entity type, and if it's not, we say it's an invalid entity type, and then after this we return true. Why do we return true? Oh, because it has been handled off. Yeah. Okay, has been handled off, so we return true. If that is not the case, we're still within length 1, but length 1 isn't set. Then no, wait, we are still, where is this? This is, oh, this is still after the after the catch. Oh, okay. Still in our statement. Notice cow settings. We're gonna set, yes. Get instance dot set exploding type to type.
Edit the exploding type, right? And then right here, instead of spawning cow, we can just have a living entity right here, player get world, spawn entity, and then instead of having cow, we're just gonna go into cow settings, get instance, get exploding. And I guess we need to cast it into a living entity because this one will only return entity, but we pretty much know that this is a living entity. Also, here's a great tip. So we have to make sure that the type is spawnable and the type is alive, right? And if it isn't...
Where do we put that? That is still in my args section. If args is... We put that over here. Okay. Bye, Pelasty! Whoa, what just happened? Okay, hi. If not type is spawnable, yeah, then we're gonna send a message. Okay, so if a not type is spawnable and not type is live,
Then
sender.send message. You can only spawn entities that is alive is a very tricky thingy to have here though, because technically speaking zombies and such are dead, right? Like that's also they're undead. But I feel like undead is... Wouldn't that mean that the other ones are alive entities? So confusing. We can only spawn entities that are alive.
we're going to return it. So, because as you notice...
And I return true because... Okay, I need to remember that this return true is just to say, hey, has been handled off.
As you notice, the entity type has things like area effect cloud, which you can't really spawn, right? So we have to make sure that only actual animals can be placed there. Great. And I guess the baby argument, we have to also make sure that the entity is ageable right here, and then we can call it onageable. Just like that. And if you don't know in Java how the casting works, guys, I do recommend you check out my training course called Project Orient, because there I'll explain everything about what I...
Yeah, but it's a little bit... I'm confused that ageable is... I guess that's a object thing, right? Like object-oriented thing. Ageable is a type of entity?
I'm just typing in terms of syntax, in terms of these brackets.
Oh wait, now we're putting... Yeah, well, for me... Oh, sorry. I got hung up on the brackets before the dot.
In terms of casting and everything, right? Because you guys need to have solid Java understanding. So check the link in the description. And
this entity cannot be a baby. Else... sender.send message this entity might be a baby. That's, yep, sender.send message.
you know, you'll be thanking me later, because I know it can get a bit confusing if you don't understand the mechanisms behind this code and the intricacies of it. Great. So that one, now we can only use that if the entity actually can have babies, right? If it isn't, if it can't,
if it can
then,
have babies,
we're just going to return it. There we go. And then finally we're going to spawn it. Also, guys, I guess that's it. Now, before we go, I also want to edit the tab completion. So let me just edit it right here. And then we can actually only complete the entity types that begin with the letter that we're trying to tab complete. So if I go and I call -cow/cow set, and I type in ZAM, and then I hit tab, it will autocomplete only to zombie, but not, it will not suggest cow because it does not start with it. So the way we're going to do this, we're going to get the first argument, and you can also make sure to uppercase it because the entity type is uppercased. And then, I guess, again, we can just rely on the AI for now. I do not recommend AI as complete beginner, I explained that earlier, but for now it works. So we can just create a stream from the entity types, and then the filter, yeah, we can just filter the spawnable and alive types, and then those that begin with their name. Then we can map that into, we can convert.
Okay, this is... Oh no, what did I do? Can I stop doing that, please? Okay. Yeah, that's fancy. Okay. We still need to change the command itself. We need to remember that. Else if... Ew! That's how you want to look? Okay. Sure. I thought you meant with a dash in between. I was like, no. No dash. Oh wait, no, it's not an else if, right? Because it can have both. It can be both. Okay. There we go. Args dot length equals 2. Then we are gonna say name is args. That's 1 because it's the second in the system. To uppercase. And that we are gonna... Ooh, that's an interesting one. Return? Array. Dot stream entity type values. Stream entity type values. Dot filter type is spawnable and type is live. Okay. And type starts or type dot name dot starts with name dot map. You guys can't see this anymore. Whoop. Where was I doing that? Dot map enum. Oh wait, that's a different one. Enum name. Oh. Dot to list. What is your error? Answer, I already did that. Okay, so we have arrays. Dot stream. Okay, I'm gonna yup. Great. Dot stream entity type values. I can get rid of this one, it doesn't matter a whole lot. We can read that. Values, yeah. Dot filter, we're gonna filter that out on all of the ones that are spawnable, alive, and start with what we've already filled in. I don't quite know what we do with this. But that's okay. And then...
list of strings, because this needs a list of string, the auto completion. And then this right here
Oh, we're not making
needs
it
to be like
this.
that. So we need to collect it, use collectors to list to convert the
Dot. Collect. Use. Collectors. Collectors dot to list.
No!
To list.
I know I need to leave soon.
this into a list of strings. It's a bit confusing. Again, that's why I do recommend knowing Java very well before this. But basically, this is going to just filter the entity types, turn it into a list of strings right here. That's it. Nothing major. Awesome, guys. Let's go into the game, shall we? And let's test it out. Okay.
No, because we still need to fix the command. Okay, that's over here. Here.
Just like that.
Okay, yeah, but wait.
Entity type.
Okay. Let's save everything because I haven't done Control S yet. Now we have. And we are gonna go into, that is my plugin YAML. So now we're gonna keep it at zombie. Okay. So this is set slash baby, and this is entity type.
Just like that.
Is that all we changed? Yeah, I don't have permissions. I don't mind that. Oh, wait, there we have the default up. We should have finished it, that one, I think. Darn it. Oh, it's one, I think. No, it's not. Missions. Oh. Canon. .command .cow, which for us is .zombie. Default up. Cow canon .1.use. No, .zombie.use. Default is true. Which is not cow cannon, but it is example project. That doesn't matter. Hold on. Why are you? What does the underline mean? Hi, can you tell me? Yes, please. Oh, you're just disagreeing with what I typed there. So does that mean this is supposed to be some canon still? Because this does use. No, we don't use that one. I think it has to be. Why is my gosh? Example project. We can test that out as well. Alright, is it everything? Let's try it, right? Stop and rerun. And Now we can get rid of this window, and we should make this window appear. And then we'll see. A lot of this is really interesting, but I'm not 100% sure how much of this is sticking, because there is so much very specific stuff. But yeah. While we are starting up, right. While we are starting up, we might as well see the rest he has to say.
You should not have it very well before this, but basically this is going to just filter the entity types. Awesome, guys, let's go into the game, shall we? And let's test it out. Okay, guys, make sure you don't have any cow canoon file folder. You should not have it. And if you don't have it, the plugin will actually copy the settings file from inside your jar. And as you can see inside, it says entity type.cow. Let me go into the game and let me test if it works. And if I right click, yeah, there we go. Now it works. Awesome. Now if I type in cow, it should autocomplete baby and set, but it doesn't because I forgot to have this implemented right here. Just a small mistake.
Rx length equal 1. Wait, where's that? Rx length, yep. Set. Okay. Cool. We saved that.
Yeah.
Well, we
that's
won't
it.
see it now.
However, if
either.
I type set, it will try to autocomplete all of these things. All of these things. And these are only the valid values. So I can do volve, but if I mistype, it says invalid entity type volve, right? Or I can do, say, pig. And now it displayed the user's message. Oh, okay, great. So after it's been said, we were supposed to return true, and we were actually supposed to send the sender a message that it was actually...
Right, good thing that we watch first. Where is this? This is in this part, and then at the end, cow settings. Rx is bigger than... Yeah, okay, so then before this return false. Okay. Before this return false, we do a cow settings dot get instance dot set exploding type. Get instance dot set exploding type. Okay, I'll get back to you in a moment. And we do a sender dot send message of set exploding type to what's type? You cannot find type. Why can we not? You guys can't see that. Sorry, chat. I thought I still had it ready. It cannot find type because type is only findable in there. But we are no longer in those brackets, right? Oh, yeah, we are. I keep on forgetting that it's not Ctrl Y. I already put that. Uh-huh.
Said. Small mistake of mine, there we go. But now I can open up the file, and if I reload it, there we go. It is now pig. So it's been it's been properly changed, and now if I go and I
Okay, okay, that is what's got me confused. Noted. Oh, darn it. I am... Okay, I just changed something up because I used Ctrl Y, because I keep on using Ctrl Y. Okay, what is this? What did I just do? I just got rid of everything. Great. It's cool. I didn't save it, so can you please... No. Darn it. The most annoying thing is that I've already changed it like a good... I think I changed it twice for Ctrl Y to not be the lead line. Because I know I spam it. Okay, that does this. Can we go back to... Okay, we have our try, we have our catch, we have if is spawnable. Darn it. Okay, we have that. We have the set exploding type. Hey Gavi, could you redeem first? We're about to end, but I Ctrl Y and Ctrl Y is the lead line still. It's so annoying. Hi Gavi. Okay, so let's go back into this. So I'm now going back into the video to like see the things that I've deleted. Because I've deleted stuff even though I didn't mean to.
A message that it was actually said. A small mistake of mine.
Yeah, we missed that one. Sender.send message. Entity type has been set to plus type. We don't have a return true.
And there we go. But now I can open up the file.
Okay, so according to you, that's everything. What else do you have there? There's a return false after that. That I missed. And I hope that is it. But I don't think I can check that right now. Because that is in cow settings, so we need to be in the command. Let's see, listener, cow command, return false, and we have player. I think we might be lucky here. Okay, let me Control S it, restart it, stop my rerun. Okay. Let's hope, chat. Big hopes. Anyway, hi Gavi. What's up? Faye is sleeping in her chair. Did I tell you guys about her new chair? Well, it's my old chair, her new chair, I guess. Yeah. It's my previous computer chair. I took it somewhat apart, so now it's just the seat and like the armrests. That's it. Well, and I mean obviously the leg of the chair. And now she can lie in it the way she wants, however she wants. It's face chair. All right, we're done. Let's see. I might have broken things too much. Okay. Oh, that is annoying. Cause okay. It gives me. Wait. Why am I still screen sharing? There we go. I don't have anyone in VC anyway, so stop virtual camera. And now we can actually see. Okay, so now we can do zombie. Eee, look at that. Has been set to LA. So now if I do... Yeah, I didn't... It always says it cannot be a baby. Great. And then if I do this... LA. I'm so sorry! Okay. Okay, noted. To be fair, making that explosion really, really big and then do it whenever someone tries to just punch in LA, that would be very funny because you don't punch in LA. Anyway, there is something wrong because we get this one. If it is 1, and we have baby, entity is ageable, we do set baby. Yeah, because it's not ArcSys 1, right? Wait. Else if wait, so zombie baby, that makes sense, but now I just want zombie. And then you still say baby, so you always try to spawn a baby type. Because it has been set to baby once? No, that can't be it. Because that happens in there. We always enter the else statement. No, I think this needs to be here. So that. And then we say if entity is an instance of agreeable, then we get ageable, else we say that. And if it's none of these... Oh wait, my apology. Yeah, no, wait, we can do that. And if it's none of these, we do else sender what send message an error occurred. Please check your input. Is that occurred with double R? Yes, it is. Right, because now it is If length is 1. And it is a baby? Yeah. Else. And then we see if we ask for, okay, we want the baby, we check, we either make it a baby, and otherwise we say, hey, you can't make this into a baby. But if it's not this, does it matter? I don't know if it matters. Oh. I think we might just not have anything there. Yeah. Because if it is 0, yeah. No, I don't think we need any message here. This whole else statement can just go. I think. And what happens if so now I want set. Armor stand isn't alive, is it? But now I don't spawn it. Okay, that's good. Okay, nice. Okay, chat. Well, I think that's it. Because I changed the error message. I deleted it. I just haven't restarted the server for that. But I think, yeah, I think we did it. What do we want to spawn? What do we want to explode, chat? What kind of mob do we want to explode? Ooh. Slight issue. Uh-oh. How much health does he have? Thank you. I mean, it works. To be fair, that's canon. Hey, Jade. Yeah, I was really quickly rounding stuff off. I'm gonna raid everyone out and I'm gonna come right over. I need my chat. We did it though. We are exploding things, so we can dynamically say what we want to explode. I got stuck into coding. I'm sorry. I got really far into coding. Well, anything else? I don't think so. I'm gonna stop the server right here. Save everything once again. That is gonna conclude today's plugin session, I guess. This week's plugin session. See you in a bit. Let's see who we are gonna raid. Yeah, so we're gonna continue with this next week. I think what I saw next yeah, next episode, so to say, is timed tasks. So that's very interesting. And after that, I saw something about particles, and the way that he's gonna teach it looks really, really fun. So I'm very curious to see that. Also, we already know quite a bit, so maybe we can, instead of getting new theory, we can like use the theory and make something for ourselves. If anyone has a fun idea, let me know. Who are we rating? A bunch of people just started. Okay. Wait, Bloomy was live yesterday. I think I need to reload. Also, what did you guys think of like the background noise, I guess? It's better than having nothing, right? Yeah, look, those are different names than we just saw. Nice. Oh, what is Ham doing? Ham is doing one of those GeoGuessr-like things. We can go there. Let's go there. No idea. Seems to be all kinds of puzzle-y things. We like that, so let's go there. Next stream is Friday. No plans yet. I hope there's nothing community-wise, but might be team training, might be hijacked by team training, I guess. Next plugin session is next week. Next week, Wednesday. That's about it. Yeah, that's it. Alright, chat. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something, or, you know, just use this as background noise. That also works. I don't mind. And then I hope to see you guys soon. Go say hi to Han. Bye bye bye.